Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook.
Steelers and Colts on Sunday trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Pirates make a trade, the fallout continues, and NBA on Christmas Day, a tradition like none other. We'll talk about that and more. Hello again, everybody. I'm Josh Taylor. Welcome to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook. We got a lot to get to tonight on this Christmas edition of the show. Hope everybody is enjoying the holiday, whatever it is you're doing. And I know this is a different kind of situation this year. So if you're not necessarily with your families or not maybe with the same groups you're with, hopefully you're enjoying the holiday wherever you are and whomever you are with. And we have a lot to get into. I want to talk about the Steelers, of course, facing the Colts on Sunday. Steelers on a 3-game losing streak, Colts on a 3-game win streak. So that's something to look into. This game also has playoff implications on the line. Colts trying to win the AFC South. They're tied with the Titans. Steelers trying to win the AFC North because they're trying to stay away from Cleveland. So there's a couple things going back and forth there. But before we get to any topics and before I even bring my guest in for tonight's show, our question of the night, since this is Christmas, we're going to spin things a little bit. Our question of the night: who gets a lump of coal in their stocking from you this year? I have my answer, but I want to hear yours. And before we hear yours, I'm going to ask my guest live in the 93.7 The Fan newsroom, Paul Zeise from 93.7 The Fan. Oh, forgive me, we'll get to Paul in just a second. But here's what we'll do. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Who gets a lump of coal in their stocking from you this year? It could be a particular player. It could be a coach. It could be a team. It could be an entity. Like, it could be the Big Ten, or it could be the Pac-12. It could be the College Football Playoff Committee. It could be anybody. I want to hear your thoughts on that. 412-928-9370. Also taking your tweets at Josh Taylor HD. Now we got Paul Zeise ready, live in the 93.7 Fan newsroom. There's Paul. Paul, I got to get this out of the gate. You could pick more than one person, but who gets a lump of coal from you this year in their stocking?
I would probably say the Big Ten, right? I mean, because is there anybody that handled this whole thing worse than the Big Ten? Is there anybody that handled, the whole pandemic worse than the Big Ten did?
I could argue the Pac-12, but yeah, point taken.
But the thing, even the Pac-12 didn't change its own rules 2 different times.
True.
In order to accommodate Ohio State. At the beginning of the season, there was a team that I think was Iowa or Purdue couldn't play against Nebraska. Nebraska lines up another game, and they say, no, you can't do that. We can't do that. We can't be adding games. And then all of a sudden, they realize Ohio State needs games, and they changed the rules and said, well, maybe we need to add games, if we have to. Then they changed the requirement to get into the Big Ten championship game, and Ohio State wins. And then they realized that there are rules on how long you have to sit out if there are some positive cases. Then all of a sudden they decided to reduce that to make sure, basically, that Ohio State could play. So, to me, if the Big Ten would have just used common sense from the start and done what the ACC and SEC and Big 12 did, which is basically say, listen, we feel like we can play safely. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to start out, you know what I mean? We're going to build a couple of bye weeks into everybody's schedule so that we can move some games around if we have to, right? If the Big Ten would have done that, they wouldn't have come off looking like so stupid.
I can't argue with that. The Big Ten was on my list, but I wanted to keep it limited to 1 or 2 entities. My vote goes to the College Football Playoff Committee. Because when you look at the entire season, how it actually played out, the teams that were selected and the reasons why they chose, there are a couple teams that if I'm them, I'm probably upset. I think Texas A&M had a legit gripe as to why they should have been included. I think no one has a bigger axe to grind than Cincinnati, because I can make the argument that Cincinnati might have had a better resume than Notre Dame to be qualifying for the College Football Playoff, being undefeated, winning their conference, beating 3 ranked teams. I think that's a good case to be made for Cincinnati, but they're a group of 5 team in a group of 5 conference, and they're going to be disregarded, and that's what happened. And I think College Football Playoff missed that majorly. We got to take a break. When we come back, we want to hear from you. Who gets a lump of coal in their stocking from you? We'll find out when we come back. Stick around.